OAN is in a little bit of trouble. I'm sure many of you have now heard that they are being dropped by DirecTV, which is not good news for them. It was announced just this last week that they will be dropped this year by DirecTV. OAN, if you're not familiar with it, is a wannabe Fox News, but even more irresponsible and crazy. Although I don't think they have anyone as awful and as directly opposed to both democracy and journalism as Tucker Carlson, so maybe they're better, I don't know. Anyway, they became one of Donald Trump's favorite channels while he was president. In 2020, he gave OAN a boost by tweeting one of its stories. Do you know which one? It was one that mocked an elderly protester who was knocked down and injured by police on TV during a protest in Buffalo. I think you remember that video and that protester. His skull was cracked open by police, and Trump thought that was so funny that he'll boost any media outlet that mocks that guy. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, being dropped by DirecTV is not just a small thing. For them, it's apparently big. They had said in 2020, one of their lawyers, that if Herring Networks was to lose or not be renewed, that's OAN basically, Herring Networks, to not be renewed on DirecTV, the company would go out of business tomorrow. That turns out not to be true, or at least we'll see once they get dropped, but they're not gone yet anyway. Although 90% of their revenue supposedly comes through at&t platforms. So that we've all known for a few days. What you might not know though, is what they have left. They're not gonna have DirecTV, but that doesn't mean that they don't have anything. And Media Matters did a great job of summing up what they still have access to in terms of broadcast. So they have two national carriers, CenturyLink Prism. It's a thing, I've never heard of it before. Anyway, it appears to be in the process of discontinuing service nationwide. So okay, maybe that's not the best fallback. Verizon Fios TV, that makes OAN available to 3.7 million subscribers. And Verizon's perfectly fine, maybe they can rely on them. I don't know, I had a show on Verizon's streaming service and they canceled it like 2 weeks later. So not the show, the service. So maybe don't rely on them. Anyway, they're also available on Roku, which has 55 million active users, and by the way, has TYT on Roku, Amazon Fire TV with 50 million users, VidGo, and a platform that I originally read as Clown TV, which would have seemed appropriate. It's apparently Cloud TV. And they post videos on Rumble, and they tweet stuff, I think, and they have podcasts on iHeart. So, JR, they're not totally gone, and maybe they can transition to these other platforms. They have, after all, only lost 90% of their revenue.
Yeah, see, that's the revenue, right? And which at&t, was part of the whole creation of this network, right? And it was kind of keeping them sustained. This is according to those court documents. Reuters was reporting this before about the origins of OAN, and partially it was at&t, and at&t owns DirecTV, and now DirecTV wants to end this relationship. So I don't know if there's something to keep them sustained, because there's plenty of places where they'll still be seen, or maybe they have an issue with not being on like the name TV, the cable network that they know Donald Trump likes to watch. They know he's the one who propelled them. He's the one who pushed them forward. So if he can't find them because he doesn't know what a Roku is, I mean, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, there's a few pieces of technology that I have a great deal of affection for. Randomly, I love my Roku. It's like that is what TV is for me, is Roku. Anyway, and also we're on Roku, so check it out. But so we'll have to see. Like they will still be available. It is possible that this will spur them to look for other opportunities. I would not expect that they're going to be totally gone, and they're kind of freaking out about that actually. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.